Coming up on Grady Newsource. Georgia's first day of early voting broke a record with over 300,000 votes. We later have a live report from Jackson County at the elections office. Former President Donald Trump held a campaign rally in Cobb County yesterday. And why former UGA football coach Scott Cochran started the American Addiction Awareness Association to combat drug addiction. All of this and more coming up on Grady Newsource.
This is Northeast Georgia's only local source for TV news. From the Grady College of the University of Georgia, this is Grady Newsource.
Good evening and welcome to Grady Newsource. I'm Juliana Russ. The state of Georgia set a new record for early voting turnout yesterday. With over 300,000 votes cast on opening day alone, these ballots nearly doubled the number of first-day votes in 2020. Grady Newsource reporter Tori Newman joins us live at the Jackson County Elections Office as day 2 of early voting wraps up. How did it go, Tori?
Thanks, Juliana. Early voting ended just minutes ago here in Jackson County, but I was here bright and early this morning where voters braced the cold temperatures to exercise their right to vote. Now, Elections Director Jennifer Logan told me her staff stayed until 9:30 last night to process one of the largest Election Day turnouts she's ever seen. Take a look to see what voters had to say. Day 2 of early voting in Jackson County saw a consistent stream of voters throughout the morning. For those who took advantage of early voting, they had plenty of reasons to do so.
Sometimes it's more chaotic, so I wanted to go ahead and vote as early as I could.
It's my constitutional right, and there are people that died to give me the right to vote.
We have 3 grandchildren, and they have a lot of kind of afternoon schedules. They're in school and one in daycare.
Voters also expressed a positive experience when voting, especially with the speed of the process.
Smooth and easy.
And I understood everything I was voting for.
Very easy, very quick. Parking lot full, but it went through.
However, behind the scenes, Election Director Logan says it wasn't as calm for her staff.
There's just a lot of stuff going on. It's presidential election, so we have voting going on all day.
Early voting will continue from 9 to 5 through this Saturday and pick back up on Monday. Back to you, Juliana.
Thanks, Tori. With Election Day just weeks away, former President Trump held a rally Tuesday night at Cobb Energy Center emphasizing key issues like immigration and the economy. Grady Newsource reporter Riley Kehoe was on the scene.
Supporters lined up for hours at Tuesday's Trump campaign rally, eager to hear the former president address the key issues of the 2024 election.
I'm here to be energized, to see him in person and to be part of the movement that is MAGA.
I am here to see the best president that we've ever had. I'm so excited and just want to hear more about his policies and how he's going to close the border. I think that's my biggest issue right now.
At his rally in Cobb County, a crucial area that shifted from red to blue between 2016 and 2020, Trump focused heavily on immigration.
The savage monster who murdered Lincoln was let in and released into our country by Kamala Harris.
He called for the death penalty for migrants who kill U.S. citizens. To gain further insight on this claim, I spoke with UGA political science professor Dr. Charles Bullock.
When people run for office, they promise they're going to do things they can't do. So, for example, as president, you could not unilaterally say, death penalty to all migrants who kill migrants. No.
Trump also warned the crowd that we are on the brink of World War III, blaming Vice President Harris for various national issues.
Everywhere you look under Kamala Harris, the American standard of living is in a free fall. Nothing works. You ever notice nothing works? It's like everything they touch turns to a lesson.
Dr. Bullock outlined the strategy behind Trump's campaign, emphasizing the key methods used to engage voters.
Well, it's been his total strategy. I mean, if you're watching any of the TV advertising that he's putting out, none of it is talking about vote for me because of my positive elements. No, it is all, here are the terrible things that will happen if Kamala Harris becomes president.
The people of Georgia are going to end Kamala Harris.
For Grady Newsource, I'm Riley Kehoe.
Vice President Kamala Harris is also returning to Atlanta this Saturday to host a rally of her own. As Election Day approaches, both Harris and Trump are making efforts to connect with Georgia voters and win over one of the most important battleground states. National Hispanic Heritage Month ended yesterday. The month celebrates how Hispanic Americans enrich our country. Grady Newsource reporter Ryan Lynch takes us to a celebration in Athens Pinewoods community for a closer look.
We're made of music and different dresses, different accents, and a different culture that we want to share with everybody else.
The Pinewoods community of Athens celebrated National Hispanic Heritage Month with music, dancing, and art. Although the event was a celebration, organizer Evelyn Rushing had a bigger vision for it. She said community members often lack connections to organizations outside the neighborhood.
That's why every time that I have events, I invite organizations, and they're so happy to come and share their information.
One organization is Equal Education for Athens, a nonprofit that provides free online tutoring, both in English and in Spanish, to students in Clark County.
Obviously, a very big, very large educational disparity in Athens Clark County school district schools. Racial disparities and economic disparities.
The graduation rate for Hispanic students increased according to the Clark County School District, but it is still about 12% lower than the rate for white students. Although there is need for improvement, tutoring groups like Equal Education have begun to address these gaps. Rushing said Pinewoods residents have also started to connect with organizations like these.
But now people is connected in community with organization, with other organizations. They're sharing resources, and the more we know, the better it is.
For now, the Pinewoods neighborhood will continue to celebrate what makes them unique. For Grady Newsource, I'm Ryan Lynch.
Lufthansa, a German airline company, was fined $4 million for allegedly discriminating against Jewish passengers. According to the Department of Transportation, this is the largest penalty issued against an airline for civil rights violations. Another important issue facing Americans today, mental health. Musicians often deal with unique mental health challenges, and in a music town like Athens, this can hit close to home. Grady Newsource reporter Melanie Levy shows us how one organization is making a difference.
Artists such as Caleb Justice, lead singer of rock band Frigga 5, know all too well the internal struggles that musicians face.
Because you feel so isolated as an artist and people don't understand you. You can just get in bad mind, headspaces, and it can go south pretty quick.
That's why 14 students from the University of Georgia's Music Business program partnered with Nucci Space to hold their annual Nucci Space Jam. The venue's overall mission is to serve Athens' up-and-coming musical artists by providing them with low-cost practice spaces and equipment, suicide prevention programs, and fully funded mental and physical health resources.
We are putting on a benefit concert. 100% of the proceeds go back to Nucci's.
This year's Nucci Space Jam featured 3 musical acts: rapper Kimbo Nave, folk group Gabby Della Ponte, and headlining rock band Frigga 5. Nucci Space is named after Nucci Phillips, a UGA student and musician who struggled with depression that ultimately caused him to take his own life in 1996. His family created the facility to help artists like him. According to a study conducted by the National Bureau of Research, medical spending for mental health disorders costs the United States almost $300 billion annually.
That's the number one barrier to people getting mental health care is the cost of it.
The music business students raised $454 throughout the night, all of which will go directly towards Nucci Space, who will then use it to help musicians both physically and mentally, and keep Nucci Phillips' legacy alive. In Athens, Melanie Levy, Grady Newsource.
Former Georgia football coach Scott Cochran says he won't be returning to the field anytime soon. But as Grady Newsource reporter Christian Andrade tells us, he continues to coach people as president of the American Addiction Recovery Association, a nonprofit aimed at eliminating the stigma of drug addiction in America.
Got 2 from Georgia. I got 5 from Alabama, 1 at LSU.
Coach Scott Cochran is an 8-time national champion.
My saying is, yeah, 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 yeah! And so he named me Coach Yeah.
He got the nickname Coach Yeah from former Alabama football coach Nick Saban for his thundering voice.
I gotta yell over the music
And that's what gave me the headaches.
Cochran said he went to the doctor for years trying everything they gave him, but nothing stopped the migraines.
Then all of a sudden, they give me extended release oxy, and it was like, I can coach all day.
Until one day, he couldn't.
When I overdosed in 2020, when my wife found me dead, is when I knew I need help.
Last year, there were over 107,000 overdose deaths in America. After Cochran's overdose, he went straight to rehab. University of Georgia defensive tackle Warren Brinson remembers when he left.
First thing he did, came back, got in front of the whole team and told us, hey, this is what I was going through, this is a problem, and I went out and got help for it, and I mean, he's been doing great.
Since Cochran left rehab, he's used his voice to tell his story. He met Jeff Breedlove when he spoke at an Athens Recovery Warriors event in February.
We knew right away that we were stronger together.
Breedlove was chief of staff for DeKalb County Commissioner Nancy Jester before he got arrested in 2016.
I've made the news. Everybody knows that I smoke crack and no one's going to hire me.
He went to rehab and has been clean ever since.
I realized that I could live again.
Breedlove founded the American Addiction Recovery Association and invited Cochran to be the president.
What we are trying to do is do exactly what Susan G. Komen did for breast cancer, we're trying to do for addiction.
Thanks to the Susan G. Komen Foundation, athletes wear pink every October on fields across the nation to spread awareness for breast cancer. The AARA plans to do something similar to spread awareness for addiction.
Next year, September, is Recovery Month. Purple is our color. I've got Nike told me that they would give me 10 to 15 teams to actually wear purple on the sidelines and in the game.
If you want real conversations in America, you have them where real Americans are. And I would argue the most integrated part of our community, where it's diverse, is at a high school football game or a college football game.
Yeah, I will pray for Coach Cochran. Hell yeah, he's a good guy. Yeah.
Christian Andrade, Grady Newsource.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
You're home before sunrise, on top of the house, the kids, and our future. The smell of your cooking is our alarm clock. My Shiro's day is never done. So let's start saving a little more now so we can feel prepared for retirement. A free 3-minute online chat can give us the personalized tips we need so we can live our lives to the fullest. Visit aceyourretirement.org.
Julie was always a voracious reader. She'd carry 2 novels on an airplane because she'd read one on a 3-4 hour ride. And at some point, I began to notice that she would read a page and couldn't remember what she had just read, and she'd have to go back and read it again.
I don't remember much these days after I read, but less does for me, and I love it.
Hey world, I have a quick message. It's about safe driving. All right, let's go. Anytime you're driving, have the seatbelt buckled tight. Both hands on the wheel and your phone out of sight. When not in your hand, trying to text somebody back. Because if you do, your car might get smacked. The moral of the story, just put your phone down. The people on the road will stay safe and sound. Put your phone down, put your phone down. People on the road will stay safe and sound. Yeah.
The hand count rule that was originally passed by Georgia's state election board was struck down yesterday. Grady Newsource reporter Elizabeth Hunter joins us in studio to tell us more on why the rule was marked as invalid. Elizabeth?
Yeah, Juliana, many election offices across Northeast Georgia are breathing a sigh of relief today. Now they aren't having to scramble to figure out how they are going to handle the hand count rule that was introduced just 47 days before the election. Fulton County Superior Court Judge Robert McBurney, who made the decision, said in his official order that the hand count rule was, quote, too much, too late. I talked with 2 poll workers and political expert Charles Bullock. They both said they didn't find this rule necessary.
No. It's watched very well.
The Moros say the polls are already double-checked and that the extra training that would be needed to get ready for hand-counting ballots on election night would be hard to complete since November 5th is so close.
We've got 6 or 7 precincts, and there's workers in every one. They all got to be trained.
This is one of the reasons Judge McBurney cited in his order for striking the rule down. Political expert Charles Bullock says he agrees and saw this ruling coming.
Yeah, I think there were hints in the wind of this. All that commission can do, the election commission can do, is hand down rulings. They can't make laws. The legislature has not mandated this. So in essence, the commission there was coming up with new rules, regulations to voting.
He says the hand count rule seemed like an effort to
closing the barn door after the horse is out.
Bullock also told me that he could see the Georgia Republican legislators trying to get this rule passed as a law.
A State Department letter was leaked Tuesday revealing that the U.S. is pressuring Israel to increase humanitarian aid to Gaza in the next 30 days or risk losing military aid. This letter comes the same week the Department of Defense announced it would be deploying an anti-missile system and American troops to Israel. On September 4th, law enforcement across Northeast Georgia lended their support to Barrow County in their time of need. Grady Newsource reporter Nigel Whittington tells us how Barrow County is showing their appreciation.
The September 4th shooting at Appalachia High School thrust many into an event they never thought would happen to them. But for law enforcement all across Northeast Georgia, including the Oconee County Sheriff's Department, this was one of the many scenarios they had spent months training for. For Oconee County Sheriff James Hale, the decision to rush into danger started with a phone call to the Barrow County Sheriff.
And when he answered, I heard the sirens in the background, so I knew he was on his way to something. I said, "Hey, is it real?" And he said, "I think it is." I said, "We're on the way."
The Oconee County Sheriff Department is one of 56 Northeast Georgia departments whose actions that day earned them a proclamation from the Barrow County Board of Commissions, thanking them for their actions.
We're just trying to make sure that everybody who did run towards the danger that day knows that Barrow County is eternally grateful for their actions on that day.
According to the K-12 school shooting database, in 2024 alone, there have been 265 school shootings. This is currently the third highest since 1966. Hale emphasized the importance of staying ready, with school safety training done routinely, and Hale himself having over 2 decades worth of school safety experience.
I've been involved in school safety training since 2001. So I guess if you want to think, it's 2024 now, so I guess probably for 23 years, that's my bread and butter.
While they don't do it for praise, every once in a while it's important to take a step back and appreciate those who protect and serve. I'm Nigel Whittington, Grady Newsource.
Tonight in Athens, a decades-long tradition will return to the Classic Center. Grady Newsource reporter Colin Miller has more on Sigma Delta Tau's annual dance competition.
Is the diagonal? Okay.
UGA sorority members are just hours away from dancing in the largest Greek philanthropy event on campus, SDT Greek Grind. 2 of those dancers, Landon Sheets and Lindy Benton, have done the event for years and are looking forward to being back on stage for a good cause.
It's such a fun event too, and just knowing that we're raising money too for a good cause.
The environment of the crowd is also awesome because it's mostly other Greek life people coming to cheer on their teammates, so the crowd gets super rowdy and it's really fun.
The top 3 sororities get up to $300 for their chapter's philanthropy, while the rest of the ticket sales and donations go to Prevent Child Abuse America. According to the National Children's Alliance, more than 550,000 children were known by authorities to be abused in 2022. PCA America helps nearly 100,000 families a year, and SDT is a large contributor.
They raise well over $100,000 for PCA America, which makes them, just with this one event alone, one of the biggest supporters of our organization. And so that means, tens of thousands of families get to be helped over the course of a year just from this one fundraiser.
SDT has already hit their donation goal of $100,000 for this year. But coordinator Ellie Risotto says there are plenty of ways to show support.
Whether it's donating, actually watching the event in person, going to the watch party, watching it from home on the live stream. So there's so many different
ways to be involved in it. And we're just continuously growing every year. And it's so exciting to see the numbers increase year by year.
Colin Miller, Grady Newsource.
After the break, fall into the season with Savannah Hernandez as she brings you autumn activity ideas and more.
Last week, Brandon met a girl on a dating app. One day after work, he finally found the courage to ask her out. No answer. He started to panic. Was he being too pushy? Maybe it was too...
Hey, sorry I didn't respond. I was driving. I would love to go on a date. How does tonight sound?
Brandon tried to play it cool, but inside he knew. A girl so smart, so responsible. She must be a keeper.
You know, a lot of people say, when you're going somewhere, you don't want to look back. But I beg to differ. For her to see her father celebrate his graduation, it's the best feeling in the world. I can't lie and say it was easy. But sometimes you just have to stop everything and take it in. I looked at everything in a different light. I realized it started with me going back and getting my high school diploma.
Jordan knows he shouldn't eat this entire bowl of nachos, but tonight he's earned that right. Because a few hours ago, in the middle of happy hour, he recognized a sign. Not from the gods or a bolt of lightning, but from a double heart, a kissy face, and a fourth ha in ha ha ha. That's when Jordan knew he was buzzed. So when it was time to go, he got a ride home instead of driving. Be a legend like Jordan. Recognize your buzzed warning signs and get a ride home. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
There is a road laid out for me.
First night here, but Amy seems cool.
Leading down to the river. I am blind, but I need not see.
What do you think?
I know this road is there for me. If I'm really free, take me down to the river and walk.
What's up, everyone? I'm Savannah Hernandez here with your 5-day forecast, and it looks like we're going to have a sunny week here in Athens. Today's high is 63 with a low of 37, and tomorrow we're going to have a high of 65 and a low of 39. And as we head into the weekend on Friday, we're going to have a high of 69 and a low of 43. Saturday, we have sunny skies with a high of 71 and a low of 44. But it'll stay cool just a little throughout the night because on Sunday we have a high of 74, the highest of the week, and then a low of 47. And with this beautiful fall weather ahead, it's the perfect time to get outside and enjoy the season. So if you're looking for some weekend plans, we've got you covered. This Sunday, don't miss the 6th annual Historic Athens Porch Fest. They'll have over 200 performances all across town, including right here at Boulevard. If pumpkin patches are more your thing, head down to Millage Avenue Baptist Church for their pumpkin patch, open every single day through October from 11 to 7. And for some family fun, Washington Farms has it all. Corn mazes, sunflower fields, and even some games. With our dogs on the road this weekend at Texas, this is the perfect way to spend your fall weekend. Our sports anchor Jackson Rowland will have more on that matchup after the break.
During high school, I hung with the wrong crowd and I never graduated.
I helped Santiago in many different ways, like all fathers do, because he always wanted to go to college.
I felt a little embarrassed to come back to school, but eventually, once I came here, I knew that it's for a bigger goal.
He was very dedicated, hardworking. He connected with his teachers. He connected with other students. That was one of the key reasons why he was able to keep forging ahead.
It was amazing to see him graduate. This was one thing that meant so much to him, and of course, it meant so much to us too.
With the help of my father and having my son, that was all the motivation that I needed. That support is everything.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
I think I finally found.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, Mason.
Hey, Mason. Got a new house. It's looking pretty cool so far.
A place that I call home.
I'm teaching Louise how to cook some lasagna.
It only takes a spark to make a fire start.
Thank you.
Study, please.
I think I finally found a place to make my own. A place that I call home. This place that I call home.
Welcome back into Grady Newsource. I'm Jackson Rowland, bringing you today's sports update. And we'll start with the game that Dog fans have probably already lost some sleep over. That's right, number 5 ranked Georgia Bulldogs are on the road, heading to Austin, Texas to take on the number 1 team in the country and the only undefeated SEC team remaining in the Texas Longhorns. UGA enters this weekend as an underdog for the first time since 2021, according to ESPN Bet. And we talked to defensive tackle Warren Brinson on how that loss to Alabama shaped their mentality ahead of this weekend's game.
Every team for UGA is different. We're still finding our identity of who we are. Like people say Bama game was an identity game just because how we fought back and we showed that we aren't any quitters and that we're going to work and come back from being in hard situations.
And battling adversity will have to be a part of the Dogs' identity as they have their toughest test yet against Quinn Ewers in this Texas offense. But in other football news, the Atlanta Falcons host the Seattle Seahawks on Sunday at Mercedes-Benz Stadium, and they're trying to keep their win streak alive as they currently lead the NFC South with the longest win streak the Falcons have had since 2019. And as Savannah told us, the weather is getting colder, which means it's hockey season once again in Athens. Tickets for the UGA Ice Dogs go on sale this Friday. And we'll be looking to see the Ice Dogs and the Rock Lobsters play in the new Aikens Ford Arena at the Classic Center. I personally can't wait to be there, but that's all the sports we have for you today. When we come back, we'll show you how a local nonprofit is helping to solve food insecurity in Barrow County.
People do some pretty cool things in their 40s and 50s. Why should saving for retirement be any different? I mean, they go back to college, learn new instruments, start skateboarding. Okay, maybe that one's not for everybody, but saving for retirement is. With aceyourretirement.org, you can get on track with your retirement savings no matter your age. Just have a 3-minute chat with Avo, the friendly digital retirement coach from AARP. You'll get personalized recommendations based on your input that are easy to understand and work with your lifestyle. It's quick, easy, and free. Plus, it's sponsored by AARP, so you know they got your back.
Gnarly move, Dad.
Thanks, sweetie.
So wherever you are in your retirement savings journey, head to aceyourretirement.org and start chatting with Avo today. That's aceyourretirement.org.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
My Shiro doesn't always wear a cape, but she always has time for a hug, a smile, for going the extra mile. My Shiro stretches every dollar, puts in long hours, puts others first. But now it's your time, Mom. When you're ready to retire, we want you to be able to enjoy it. It's time to start saving now. A free 3-minute online chat can give you the personalized tips you need to start boosting your retirement savings today. Visit aceyourretirement.org.
Welcome back to Grady Newsource. A nonprofit in Winder is helping Barrow County residents cook and eat healthier. Faith James shows us how Wimberley's Roots is reducing food insecurity to a sizzle.
County like Cassie Scott are learning to parsley the day at Wimberley Roots in Winder.
I try to always find different ways on how to learn how to eat healthy or, different recipes, things of that nature.
Susan Moses, Community Engagement Coordinator of Wimberley's Roots, organized a free cooking demo in which members of the community learned how to cook and eat healthier with one key ingredient: Parsley.
What we do is we come in, we provide healthy alternatives, we have Chef Juan do his thing, and we all just learn and encourage each other to eat healthy.
Wimberley's Roots is a nonprofit providing hands-on cooking and gardening education while enhancing food security throughout Barrow County. Wimberley's Roots is situated in a food desert, which means it's difficult to buy affordable and fresh quality food. This also affects their food insecurity rate. In Barrow County, the food insecurity rate was at 12.1% in 2022. This means that people have a lack of access to enough food for an active, healthy lifestyle. Moses says that Wimberley's Roots' goal is to help reduce this insecurity while also teaching people to live a healthier lifestyle.
I know personally, when I eat well, I feel better. When I feel better, I'm more pleasant to be around. I'm a better person. I make right decisions.
Wimberley's Roots will hold a fire cider workshop on November 2nd. The free workshop will show people how to create an herbal remedy that will help boost immunity. Faith James, Grady Newsource.
Today is UGA's Dog Day of Gratitude, which gives students on campus the opportunity to say thank you to university donors. Grady Newsource reporter Noah Bice went to find out how students benefit from the donations.
It's the reason why I'm able to attend school. I don't have any outside help from like family. I'm a first generation as well. So scholarships have been what has made me be able to attend a college like UGA.
Kaylee is one of the beneficiaries of scholarships that are funded by the university's donors. Employees working the event say the money helps fund things like buildings, professorships, and scholarships. Donors gave a record $275 million this year, beating the previous record of $242 million that was set last year. Kaylee attended the Dog's Day of Gratitude and used this opportunity to say thank you to the people that helped her get her degree while not having to worry about the stress of student loans.
I feel way more relaxed knowing that I don't owe anything and that I am able to work hard, but also know that I have help with me.
Noah Bice, Grady Newsource.
There is certainly a lot to be grateful for around here lately. Well, that's Grady Newsource for this Wednesday evening. I'm Juliana Russ. Take care.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
You're home before sunrise, on top of the house, the kids, and our future. The smell of your cooking is our alarm clock. My Shiro's day is never done. So let's start saving a little more now so we can feel prepared for retirement. A free 3-minute online chat can give us the personalized tips we need so we can live our lives to the fullest. Visit aceyourretirement.org.
Julie was always a voracious reader. She'd carry 2 novels on an airplane because she'd read one on a 3-4 hour ride. And at some point, I began to notice that she would read a page and couldn't remember what she had just read, and she'd have to go back and read it again.
I don't remember much these days after I read, but less does for me, and I love it.
Hey world, I have a quick message. It's about safe driving. All right, let's go. Anytime you're driving, have the seatbelt buckled tight. Both hands on the wheel and your phone out of sight. When not in your hand, trying to text somebody back. Because if you do, your car might get smacked. The moral of the story, just put your phone down. The people on the road will stay safe and sound. Put your phone down, put your phone down. People on the road will stay safe and sound. Yeah.
WMAZ, which is a CBS station in Macon, or a Tegna station. So really glad to be here with you guys. I came from this program. Thankfully, the newsroom has been remodeled since I graduated, but had a great experience here, and I know that you guys are getting the same. It's great to be with you, and thanks for listening to us and taking our feedback. This was a really well done newscast. I'm really proud of you guys. I've been up here and there's been times where I'm like, this was really good. There was so much good there. So you guys should be really proud of the work that you did today. Starting from the top, the producing was really smooth. So Keisha and Timmy, y'all did a great job. So that really, it starts with pulling it all together, timing the show well, staying calm in the booth, and communicating with people in the field. The stacking on the show was really nice. Yay, pizza! The stacking on the show was really well done, and I was encouraged to see you guys getting out and covering some hard news topics. I liked that the voting really is the story right now in the state of Georgia, right, with the record turnout. So was really glad to see that, along with the live shot. Is she back yet? No. That was well-timed, producers. Good job on that. And I heard the counting down and cueing her right on time. That was excellent. And then whoever covered the Trump rally? Riley. So that was. I'm really glad to see you guys are getting that experience of kind of being in those big events and knowing what it's like to be with all of the national media and all of that coverage. That's a really great experience to you, and I'm glad that y'all are getting pushed to do those types of things, because that is what it will be like in the real world. So, Juliana, right? Okay, you did a great job. These producers, they were so smooth that it made you just be able to focus on delivering the stories. You were very calm and welcoming when the show started. I felt like you were inviting me into it. You weren't, you were just very, very pleasant in your delivery and in command, and really seemed to know the material. So really good job there. I like that you guys have the bold open off the top that you edited together. I would love to heard some more sound in there instead of just talking, but adding in some sound bites or some nat sounds into that would have just helped grab my ear just a little bit more. But again, really like the fact that you're doing it. You know what made me so happy today, which sometimes I don't see this from year to year. You guys were all using your tripod, and it's just brilliant to see that. Great to see all the shots were stable there. Tori, who's Tori? Tori is the one that's still in the field. Okay. Well, I like that she had a variety of perspectives in her story. So she talked to many different voters and different types of voters. So there was a lot of diversity in that story that I really appreciated. Ryan, Ryan. Okay, you had Bullock in your story. That was I had it mixed up. But I like that you brought in Professor Bullock for kind of balance and perspective on that story. Be careful, I would just say, in any political rhetoric about repeating things that are inflammatory. Let him say them instead of you repeating them. I think he said at one point, like, that we're on the verge of World War III or something like that, which, that's going to make anybody go, ooh, So just be careful about, let them say the things, and then we can verify those claims, but we don't want to just spread what may be just a rumor or inflammatory rhetoric. It's just a cautionary thing is when you're hearing all of that. Let's see. And then I appreciated that y'all added the balance to that story by adding the Harris news coming out of it. Let's see. Ryan, your story was on what again? Okay. So I really like the story. I would have loved to see kind of a little more character development in that story, so kind of building it around one of those people and why it's so important. I really liked your stand-up. That was very engaging, the way that you added it in there. And this kind of goes across the board, and I saw this in a couple of places. So be careful about the framing of your interviews. Did you guys all take Chris Shimway's class? Okay, so I know that you learned about framing of interviews and where the headroom and where you should be, and if this is the frame, I need you to be in this third or this third, and if I'm facing this way, way, then I need to be kind of, there were just some things that were kind of off, and I had some shots I'd go specifically over with you, but just review that for your rule of thirds. And again, I saw that at a couple of different places. Let's see, Nucci's Space. Great nat sound in that package. Brought me into the story with your characters there, and really showed me why that was important to mental health. So good job on that story. Another thing, this is not specifically for you, but just passive writing I heard in a few different places, a few different stories. So is, are, was, be, being, and been. If you guys put those on a little note card on your computer, and every time you write them, try to rewrite the sentence to use active writing, it will make your writing tighter. It will make it more interesting. And you can fit in more nat sound and more sound from the people that you're actually featuring in your story. So I'll repeat those. Is, are, was, were, be, being, been. And a lot of times I tell my reporters to paste them on the side of their computer so that they know if they're writing that word to see if they can reframe their sentence. Let's see here. Let's see. Nigel? Who's Nigel? Nigel. All right. What a voice. Man, some pipes there. Good job on building a character in that story. You had emotion in your sound bites, coming from the guys talking about security. So really good job on that. And again, interviews when we're talking about framing, also be careful of what's in your background. So I think the guy was behind his desk, and he had like this whole mess of stuff going on behind him. So it's distracting to me as a viewer, because I think he had like paper and then book bags and like all kinds of stuff. And I'm like, what is that? You know, so so pulling out from behind that desk is always a good rule of thumb. Get him to come to like the edge of his desk even, because the most comfortable place that people can be is behind their desk. So try to get them away from that, or put them in a more interesting background to do their interviews. All right, let's see. I did think you guys all had good attribution in your stories, so really citing the facts. I could tell that your professor is really pushing you to get those sources in there and to get some qualitative data to put behind your stories. So good job. Our meteorologist, where is she? Do you want to be a meteorologist? What do you want to do? What do you want to do? Okay, you have great energy on camera. And a lot of creativity in that stand-up that you did, kind of moving from place to place. You seem to be enjoying it and having fun with it. So that was a high point in the show, so good job on that. Jackson, very credible. Good job. Well done on the sports front. Really good voice and smooth delivery there. I think that I can appreciate that you, a lot of people when they're starting out in sports get overly excited about talking about sports. You didn't. So I could tell that you could probably have a range there when it was something actually exciting to talk about, like a touchdown or a big win for the Bulldogs, that we could go up in the energy. But otherwise, what you were talking about today in the subject matter, you kind of stayed in the right range. You got real potential there. So nice job on that. Now my phone is turned sideways. All right. And then Faith, I ran out of note space here, but who's Faith? Where's Faith? Nice shooting. Really stood out from all the different stories. A lot of good shots of the cooking and getting in there. The tight shots are your friend. So you guys, when you guys are shooting, just really think about getting more tight shots into your work. And then I don't know who shot the last package. There was also really good shooting on that one as well. We're using a different camera than everybody else. Okay, because it looked really nice. So. Yeah, whatever he's using really works well. So, but a framing of the interviews, having depth in your shots. But you guys did a great job. I think that you all, brought something to the show, added great stories. So congratulations, and I'm sure Stephen can add a few of his points here.
Thank you all so much for having us back. We really appreciate it. Keisha, first of all, I just got to give you a shout out. Of all the shows we've watched over all the semesters we've been coming here, this was certainly the highest news value show we've seen. So bravo to you. And thank you everyone to all the work you put in on all your packages. I will spare you, and we happy to do one-on-one notes with anyone who wants them from that show. But I did just want to, and I don't know if you already said this, I assume you did, but can we please give a huge round of applause to Timmy? You are killing it in the booth. I think when we're on campus is paying as much attention to what's happening behind the scenes as anything that's happening on cam. I don't know what you want to do with your life, but you absolutely have the demeanor for that. One of the things that makes a good producer or a good director is risk management, and the level of communication you were showing way ahead of time, trying to foresee things that could happen, was exactly what we would look for in a director. Seriously, you should feel really good about it. Here's what I would love to do. I would love to turn it back to you for anything you want to say. Then I would love for people to get pizza. If you want to peace out because you don't want to talk to us, that's cool. And if you want to stay and hang out with us, we can eat pizza, talk tag to answer any questions. Does that sound good? All right, sweet. Oh.
You did a great job on your presentation. I just got lost and distracted in what you were talking about. So it's just gnats, little attention. So, but you all did a phenomenal job. So,
well, thank you for the great advice and for all the compliments. I think they're well deserved. I would say this is probably my strongest class up to now, and I've had a lot of very talented people, some of whom you've hired. But they're really, really strong. They tried really hard to impress you, to create some interesting content. And they've made so much progress in just 2 months that we've been, writing more conversationally, making their packages more interesting, using interesting B-roll character stories. And I keep turning around their packages inside out and trying to, and they're quick learners, yeah. And today I turned around a lot of packages, and they just did it, yeah. So I'm really proud of you guys. There's just one thing that I noticed that is a little bit worrisome to me. In one of the packages, I don't want to embarrass one person, but they were talking about abused children, and they were showing generic children on camera. Never do that, because you're implying that these children are abused. And I don't even know if you had the right to use children. You've got to have specific permission. Be very, very careful especially with children and minors. And even if it's not children, whenever you're showing people's faces and talking about statistics of people abused, you are implying that these people are abused or accused of some crime, right? So be very, very careful with that. That is the only, I'm always the party pooper, so I had to bring that up. Otherwise, I'm extremely proud of you guys. Thank you so much for appreciating the hard work they're doing. Keisha, this is her first time producing? Yes. And lots of talent. I'm very happy to let you guys, you've deserved the pizza, and thank you for your generosity. And please approach and take advantage of Laura and Stephen being here. I can't thank you enough for taking the time and traveling. Where did you come? I know you came from Macon. And
most recently, I was visiting our Greensboro station, so drove in last night.
And where are you based again?
Tampa, Florida.
Tampa. How did you do with, my goodness?
This is a story in and of itself.
I didn't know you were in Tampa.
I don't know yet, because I haven't been home yet.
Oh my goodness.
But we have power on, and we got internet back last night. Last night. Got power on a few hours before that.
Yeah.
So we'll find out.
It's interesting. I had friends in Sarasota who got their power like 24 hours later, and you guys in Tampa didn't. And Sarasota was like in the eye of the storm. I was just like sick, afraid for them. Yeah, but I'm glad that you guys, it was pretty bad for you. We dodged a bullet here, yeah.
So seriously, for anyone who wants to bounce, feel free. Otherwise, grab pizza, and we'll stay right here. We could sit in this setting and take questions and do whatever, if that works for you guys. Cool.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. Really proud. And you shouldn't have been you really are very composed and calm.